Steve Lacy tutorial. Feel free to drop a like, follow me on Instagram, join the Discord, and let's get started. I'm going to show you guys how to do it if you don't have a guitar loop, but I actually had my brother send me a guitar loop, so definitely check him out, give him a follow. He's done a couple of videos with me as well. Very good guitarist. Now, if you don't have any guitar loops, you can go to a free site like Looperman and check out some of the free samples on there. The guitar loops are going to sound better just because how people actually play the guitar. Now, if you don't want to use a guitar loop, what you can do is do something like this, where you just really chop up the chords, but in like a strumming manner. So the first thing I did with this loop was I dropped it down 2 cents, just so it's a little bit deeper. Then all I really did was I added some compression. Use this virtual mix rack, electric guitar preset, cut out just like a higher frequency that was due to some feedback, and then just cut out some of the low end as well. And we're gonna fill up the low ends later with like the bass and stuff like that. So then after that, added a nice kind of synth, and this is just from my bank Grailed. It's an analog/one-shot bank, so if you don't have analog labs, you can use this as well. So in order to figure out what chords will sound good with this guitar loop, all you need to do is really just start with one note for each area. But I know there's a chord being played at the start of every bar. One thing that's helpful is to move your sound up a little bit higher octave, and then you kind of just go based on whatever scale you're in, and you just go through and try different notes out. If you're in, let's say, E major, a good place to start is just to put everything on E major and then start moving it from there. You'll get faster the more you do this, but it's really kind of just trial and error, and eventually you kind of figure it out. Sounds good. And then from there, we just go in and we build our chords based off of that. And so that's what I did here. When you're adding notes to your chords, if a note just sounds like it doesn't sound good, even if it's in the scale, just take it out and add a different note. And then one thing I did to make sure it sounds as real as possible, I didn't want everything to hit at the same time. And so I went in and manually hold Alt and just slowly move things over, so it sounds more realistic, like you actually played it, as it's pretty difficult to play every note at the exact same time if you're actually playing your MIDI. There's never been a better time to subscribe than at this moment, so feel free to do that if you want. The next thing I did is I went into Trillion and got this rock P bass staccato. Rock P bass pick staccato. Try to say that 5 times fast. Rock P bass stick. I can't even do it once. Rock P bass pick staccato. Rock P bass stick pick. Rock P bass pick staccato. Rock P bass stick piccato. Rock P bass pick staccato. Rock P bass stick. Dude, I cannot say it. Now for this bass line, first thing you're going to want to do is follow the root notes, which are just the bottom notes of your chords, which makes it, pretty easy. Then you also want to add some like movement, so it's not just the static bass line. Quick, easy way to add bounce is just to shoot one of these things up an octave like this. And one thing I did, you'll see this note isn't the B, but this one is this E because the first chord has that. And then this one, yeah, I have no idea why I chose F, it just sounded good. That's all that matters. Does it sound good? Then I added this little FX sound. Now onto the drums, and some real keys for the drums is just like all your other instruments that you've added, you want to make sure that they're not all really static and hitting exactly on time, because you want it to sound as real as possible, right? So all these drums are from my drum kit Glitch. It's a great drum kit if you need cool, unique sounds. So to get started, we got this hi-hat going. If you look at these, all different velocities down here, and some of them are off the grid. Makes it sound a lot realer. And I stacked 3 drum sounds on top of each other. This is a great way to get really cool, unique sounding drums. And I wanted more of like a kind of like softer, kind of perk sounding sound versus like a harsh snare here, just because I thought it sounded cool. Again, these are all just slightly kind of off the grid as well. And then the last instrument I added was just a kick. Now, if you need help with mixing, I'm going to link a deep dive into mixing, my mixing masterclass, so definitely feel free to check that out after this video. But I just want to go over a couple of things that I ended up doing right here. You don't want all of your instruments in the center. If you push them to the left or the right a bit, it opens up the mix a lot more. You get kind of just a better sound in general. So the sounds that I'll leave in the middle though are like lower frequencies like the kick drum, bass line, etc. Other than that, like hi-hats, I'll just have them just pushed over just a little bit to the side, and it just really opens things up a little bit. Now, next cool thing I did to make the drum sound as real as possible, so I kind of wanted to create like a drum room type of sound, is I took all the drums, excluding the kick, and just put a little plate reverb on it. You can also just use Fruity Reverb if you have FL Studios. The drum room preset's pretty great. Alright friends, here is the beat. Thank you for watching. Shout out to my brother for the guitar loop. Definitely check his stuff out, and I'll see you soon. Peace.
Dylan XO.